Hello and welcome in my channel. I'm Professor Shraddha Firke from the Computer Science Department of KK Wagh Arts, Commerce Science and Computer Science College, Kakasaheb Nagar, Ranwad, Nasik. Today we are going to study the chapter 3, that is an assembler from a system programming. Now we will see first what is an assembler. Before studying the assembler, we have to study the types of languages. That is a basic for the assembler. So what are the types of languages? There are different programming languages. The programming languages are broadly categorized into two different parts, that are low level languages and high level languages. What are the low level languages? Low level languages are also further classified into two different parts, that is machine language and assembly language. So what are the low level languages? Low level languages are machine dependent languages that are only understood by the machines. So in that, the machine language is a binary language, which is also known as a binary language, and that has only zeros and ones, and that can be only understood by the hardware of our computer system. Whereas the assembly language is much better than the machine language. It contains some mnemonic codes, and the assembly language is used by the assembler. So what is an assembly language? It is a low level language, but it is improved by the machine language. And what are the high level languages? These are general purpose high level languages and special purpose high level languages, or a specific purpose high level language. General purpose high level languages just like C, CPP, these are general purpose languages, while the specific purpose languages are VB.NET, C#.NET, Java. These type of languages are high level languages that are understood by the humans, and these are used for the development activities or the coding activities. Now we will study what are the low level languages. As I have told, the low level languages are computer languages that either machine codes or are very close to them. The computer cannot understand the instructions given to it in a high level language or in a English language or in a human readable language. So it can only understood and execute the instructions given in the form of machine language, that is in a binary format or in a zeros and ones. So there is two types of low level languages. One is machine language and another is assembly language. So the machine language is what? It is a language that is directly imprinted onto the hardware, or it can be interpreted by the hardware only, while the assembly language is slightly more user-friendly language that can be directly corresponds to the machine language, but it needs the conversion, and that conversion is done by the assembler. So what is an assembly language? It is used to solve the complexities of machine language, and it is introduced in 1950s. So in 1950s the assembly language was developed. It is a machine dependent language. It is not a portable language because it is machine dependent. So we need to know the architecture of our machine. It has a symbolic forms called as a mnemonics, that are the short abbreviations of the instructions in the English language. It has some sort of English words that are known as a mnemonics that are used for the instructions in English language. So how the assembly language works? When we start our programming in assembly language, it has some mnemonic codes, and then the assembler and the linker, it works together as a translators, and that converts this assembly language into the machine language. So what are the features? So we will study what are the features of assembly languages. The assembly language contains mnemonic operation codes that are English type of words used for the instructions. Then it has a symbolic operands. It has a data declaration formats. It has a readability because the machine level languages cannot be readable by the humans because it contains only zeros and ones. So it is not readable properly. while in assembly language it has a readability. It is easy for the debugging because it can be easily understood and it can be easily readable. So you can easily debug the errors. It is a user-friendly language. Now we will study what are the assembly language advantages. So it is easy to understand. It is easy to remove the errors, that is easy to debug. It is easy to modify any instruction that is error. There is a error in any instruction, then we can modify that instruction easily. It saves the time because it is in human readable language, so it will save our time to type or to describe that language. It is easy to debug. Again, it is. So what are the different disadvantages of the assembly language that we will see? It is machine dependent because it is a machine language or it is a low level language. So it is totally a machine dependent. So the translation is required for the assembly language instructions. As we have seen, for the assembly language instructions, we have to translate these assembly instructions into the machine instructions, and this assembler does this task. It has a slow execution because it needs a translation. Again, it is hard to understand, as if it is easy than the machine language, but also there is some problems in the assembly language, so it can be difficult for understanding. The programs are not portable because these are machine dependent. So what is an assembler? It is a system software or the translator that translates the assembly language program into a machine language codes. And how the assembler works? It takes the assembly program as a source program as an input, then it will translate the assembly language program one by one instruction, and then it will convert that one by one instruction into a machine language program that is known as a object code or object program. Now we'll see what is a statement format for assembler. There is a statement specific format for the assembler instructions. The label part is an optional part. Then there is an instruction that is divided into three different parts. First part is opcode, second part is operand specification, and third part is also an operand specification. That is, we can easily say that instruction that the label part, then the opcode operand 1 and operand 2. So the opcode is what? It is your instruction in the assembly language program that we have called as a mnemonics. So here we give the instructions. Then the operand 1 is either your register operand or your condition code operand, and the operand 2 is your memory operand or your variables or the constants or literals. For example, there is one instruction called as a add instruction, which is used to add two different numbers or two different variables. Here we cannot add two different variables directly in the assembly language. We have to put any number or anything into an registers. Registers are the small memory from the CPU registers that is used for the instruction manipulation. So we can add anything into a register, we can subtract anything from the register, we can divide, we can multiply any register with the value. So here we are adding the instruction add a register comma sum. Sum is your operand 2, which is your variable part. A register is your operand 1, that is a register operand, and add is your opcode. Again, there is one declaration type of instruction. Here max is a variable. We declare this variable as a declare storage ds, and the length for the max is 1. So what are the statement formats for the assembler? The statement format is basically divided into 4 different parts, but the basically label part is an optional part, so we cannot convert or consider that part. The mnemonic is what? Your operation, that is move, add, sub, jump, call statements. Then the operands is what? There are two different operands as we have seen in the last uh, slide. There is a specific data required by this operation. Then it is an executable instruction that can have the 0 or 3 operands. Operands can be the register operand, memory operands, or the constant operand. And lastly, we can add any comment to that instruction. So what are the different types of assembly language statements? The assembly language statements are broadly categorized into three different categories. First one is imperative statements, then the declarative statements, and the assembler directive statements. Now what are the imperative statements? Imperative statements, that means that will indicate some action or some work during the execution. So that type of instructions are known as imperative statements, that indicates an action to be taken during the execution of the program. Just like move, add, mult, sub. These type of instructions are the imperative type of instructions, and each one of them have a different code that is known as a mnemonic opcode or the operation code. Then the declarative statements. The second type of statements are declaration statements. There are two different declarative statements to reserve the memory variables. The label part, where the variables or the constant names are defined. Then DS is used to record the declare storage and the constant value. That constant value will identify or denote the length of that label part or the variable. Then the DC statement, that is declare constant statement, and it will contain the value of that constant variable. For example, xdc3. This 3 will indicate that the x variable has a value 3 in the DC statement. But in case of DS statement, here xds5, this will indicate that x has a length 5. So it will allocate the 5 consecutive memory locations for the x variable. And the last type of statements are assembler directive statements. Assembler directive statements are the instructions of the assembler that will perform the certain actions during the assembly of your program. So there are two types of assembler directive statements: start and the constant, and end. Start will indicate the starting position or the starting index of your program, the current location from which your program will be started, and the end will terminate your program execution. So these are two different assembler directive statements. So there are basically three different types of statements: imperative statements, declarative statements, and assembler directive statements. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please keep watching the videos and please keep like, subscribing, share my channel.